Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Defining Discipline podcast. I'm your host, Scott. This is episode 337, as well as day 337 of my journey. At the beginning of the year, I challenged myself to run 365 days in a row, and to do it all outside, bearing the elements, whatever they may bring. I also challenged myself to run 1,500 miles within this time frame, and to run two big major races, them being a 50K ultramarathon trail race and just a marathon. That 50K ultramarathon trail race I ran on day 156 of my journey. That was the 50K Yankee Springs 50K trail race out in Middleville, Michigan. I ran that 31-mile race within 7 hours, 15 minutes, and 22 seconds. The next race that came up was the Detroit Free Press Marathon. That was on day 290 of my journey, and I was able to run that marathon within 3 hours, 57 minutes, and 28 seconds. So both of those times and both of those races were personal records for me. Was very excited about both of those, as well as being able to keep the streak alive since both of those races. So now we are currently here on day 337, and we're going to break down the mileage for the day before we get into today's actual episode. So for the day today, got out there and put in 3.2 miles, and I take that back, 3.1 miles. Popped up 3.2 on here, it rounded up, but it is actually 3.1 miles for the day. That put me at 28.8 miles for the week, which put me at 14.6 miles for the month. And that put me at 1,590 miles for the year. So we've obviously passed that 1,500 mile mark. That was the yearly goal. I have been shooting for now kind of a 1,750 mile for the year kind of goal. With this last month here, got 27 days left after today. No, 28 days, I believe. So I was trying to shoot for right around there. But we'll talk about that here in the episode. But let's focus real quickly on these monthly miles of 14.6. And I want to do so because every single month I challenge myself to run a 100-mile challenge, and that I do in honor of a charity in which I donate money to, as well as start a coinciding fundraiser to try to raise money and awareness for throughout that month. So for the first 11 months, was able to raise money for 11 great charities. Now we're here within the 12th month, the month of December, the last month of the year, and we're raising money for yet another great charity. And the charity for this month's 100-mile challenge is St. Jude's Children's Hospital. You can find the link to donate to this month's fundraiser on the Defining Discipline Instagram story, or the Defining Discipline Facebook story, or my personal page's Instagram story, or my personal page's Facebook story. You click on the link within that story, it'll open up the actual donation page where it says Scott's 100-mile challenge. You click on that link, you make your donations, and all donations that do get made to this cause go directly to this cause. Facebook is not taking or keeping any percentage or portion of your donations. So keep that in mind when making them. And if you'd still like to help out more, or you can't afford to donate but would like to help out, the next best thing you do is just click on that share button. We're trying to raise awareness for these causes throughout these months, and the best way to do that is to get as many eyes on it as possible. So you spreading out the message really, really helps as well. So that is December's 100-mile challenge. It is in honor of St. Jude's Children's Hospital. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get ready to get into today's actual episode for the day today. But right before we do so, let's talk about today's word of the day. And today's word of the day is galvanize. Galvanize means to cause people to take action on something that they are excited or concerned about. Galvanize. That is a good word of the day. Pretty sure I just screenshotted, but we are going to really make sure we screenshotted it. Got that. So that is December 3rd's word of the day. It is galvanize. Good word. Now, let's get into today's actual episode. Episode 337. And before we get into it, wanted to just touch on, I was talking about the yearly mileage going for 1750. Think I'm going to step it back slightly a little bit here within these, at least this week, next few days for sure. Kind of lower the mileage, kind of step it back. I'm having a little bit of issues with my left foot. Nothing painful yet, nothing too crazy, but just a tendon, a main tendon within my left foot, going across the top of it and going down under my foot. I'm having this weird feeling, like almost feels like it's slipping out of place, or it just doesn't. There's something wrong with it, something not right with it. Talked to someone today about it. They kind of just told me I'm good. I can still, nothing serious. They think it's just swollen, just from the amount of use and workload I've been putting on it. So I'm going to continue. They told me, gave me the okay, the thumbs up to continue, but just told me to kind of slow it down. So that is what I kind of intend to do here, at least for the next week. If it starts to really get better, kind of work it from there. And I may even try to just do a few stretching as well. If I'm taking down the miles and maybe trying to work a little bit more on some yoga and really stretching the body. So now let's actually officially get into 337, and wanted to kind of talk about 337 today. Today's theme, I wanted to touch on it as a follow-up episode to yesterday's episode about ownership. So today's episode 337, today's theme is initiative. And I wanted to talk about initiative just because for the longest time, again, just like the ownership problem that I was having for a very long time, and then again, it's something that I continuously work on, the ownership problem, to always continuously to take ownership in the things I do, and especially any problems that I'm having. If I screw something up, to actually take ownership within it. Initiative is something that, again, that for a long time I struggled with. I really struggled to kind of just, to take charge, to really have the initiative, to really put myself out there or do the things I wanted to do. I kind of touched yesterday on with, back when I was really serious about going into music and doing that with the band. Touched on that yesterday with ownership. I never stood up and took the ownership, and I also never stood up and took the initiative. I never really went out there to put myself out there more than I needed to. And that's something that that I feel like I've dealt with for a very long time. It's something I put a little bit into something and just never really get the initiative to really just continue on and to do things by myself, and just to assess it and get it done. So having the initiative was something that I realized, if I want to do better, if I want to get better, if I want to do really anything within this life, you need to have the initiative to do it. And sometimes it's hard to have the initiative to do things, even the things that you truly need to do. But it's, again, within taking ownership of realizing that in order to get out of the rut that you're in, you're going to need to take initiative. And again, that is something that I can't stress enough, because I was in a rut within my life. I was going nowhere, felt like I was just continuously going in a circle. And 2 years ago, wanted to change my life, and with a whole bunch of different aspects within my life, I really wanted to change them. And in order to do that, again, I had to step back, analyze my life, and take ownership of the problems and the things that I'm contributing to the life I didn't want. And once I took the ownership, I needed to then take the initiative. And the best example is this running. with everything I've done, I needed to have that initiative, one, just to start, and two, the initiative to keep going. Because it wasn't just like, day one I got out there and I had the ability. Like most things in life, you can put in, blood, sweat, tears. You can put in as much work every single day. You can just grind, grind, and grind, and the results that you may be looking for may never seem like they're coming. And sometimes they may not come, but you truly need that initiative to really push yourself to make them come. And you have to really get out there and have that initiative to continuously work hard. And it was, again, me seeing what I needed to change in my life and starting again just with my health and with just getting some kind of structure and plan down where I could wake up at a certain time and then know today, I got to put in this many miles. I got to go out there and try to run this fast. Just having that little bit of thing to kind of aim at and to really push myself forward and to kind of get a strategy going in order to figure out how I can get from place A to place B, and then to not only have the strategy but to again have the initiative to really push myself to go for it. Because again, it was a roller coaster of highs and lows, and it's always going to be a roller coaster of highs and lows, but it's within those lows where you truly find out what you're made of, and you also truly find out what you're doing wrong in order to again get more initiative to push forward. And next time you come across that same problem, maybe you'll be able to attack it differently because of the first time. So again, in general, I wanted to just talk about initiative today, because for the longest time it is something that I truly lacked. I really lacked the ability just to kind of take charge and to really push for what I wanted. And I kind of just sat back and fell to the wayside and kind of felt hopeless, lost confidence, didn't know what to do. And it wasn't again until I started to figure out what my problems were, take ownership of those problems, and then really start to take initiative to change those problems, that I really kind of started to turn my life around. And again, this is always a day-to-day process. This isn't that I figured everything out. This is me, again, telling you that every day I'm working on taking more ownership with the things that I do. And every day I'm working on finding more initiative to get out there and push myself harder to do more and more things. And I can tell you, the more I put on my plate, the more stressful and hard it is, but the more balanced I feel at the same time, the more purposeful I feel as well. It's hard to explain it. It just seems like it makes things easier when it's harder, when I don't have time to really lounge around and waste on Facebook, or I don't really have time to kind of just sit around and watch 4 episodes of something on Netflix, or I don't have much time to play video games or things that I used to do a lot. Being very busy and taking on more responsibilities in return is actually kind of helped me out, and taking on that ownership of things has truly helped me out. So finding the initiative to really push yourself forward is very, very key within getting yourself out of a rut. So that's today's episode 337. For your daily discipline today, it is to as well find the initiative within your life. Go out there and really push yourself forward day to day to day to day. Realize the results that you may want, you're not going to get overnight. You're going to have to really have that initiative and work on it day to day, and work on ownership as well. But for today's daily discipline, it is the initiative. You need to find the initiative to even maybe go out there and really take that ownership of the things that you're doing wrong within your life. So that is the daily discipline for today, day 337, episode 337. I am your host, Scott. This is the Defining Discipline podcast. If you guys can, please give the podcast a like, a subscribe, a follow, a share on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and whatever podcast streaming platform you've been following along and listening on. Other than that, I want to thank you guys and just want to leave you with the message about truly trying to work on ourselves on individual levels to be the best versions of ourselves. Because I truly believe that is how we're going to make the world a better place. It is to start within. So on that message, thank you guys so much. I will see you guys tomorrow for episode 338. And until then, stay disciplined. Get your daily discipline done. Get your donations in for St. Jude's. And peace out, guys.